She woke up every morning feeling heavy. Not tired exactly, just weighed down by something she couldn't name. Her thoughts circled the same loop: I'm not enough. Things never work out for me. Why does life feel so hard? She smiled through meetings, laughed at dinners, and told everyone she was fine. But inside, something felt permanently stuck, like a radio dial that kept landing on the wrong station no matter how many times she reached for it. Then one afternoon, sitting alone in her kitchen with a cup of tea going cold on the table, she found a small book. A friend had left it months ago. She'd never opened it. On the page, a single line stopped her breathing for a moment: every thought you think is creating your future. Louise Hay. She almost put it down. She'd heard things like that before. But something made her keep reading. And there it was, a simple, 5-minute practice. Nothing complicated. No vision boards, no expensive courses, no hour-long meditations. Just 5 minutes. A specific, intentional sequence that Louise Hay taught to thousands of people over decades of healing work. She tried it the next morning. Then the morning after that. By the end of the first week, she noticed something strange: she was waking up differently. The heaviness hadn't vanished overnight, but there was a crack of light where there had only been weight before. By the end of the month, people were asking her what had changed. She didn't quite know how to explain it. She just said, "I started paying attention to what I was putting inside myself." That woman's story is not unique. It belongs to thousands of people who discovered what you are about to learn right now. And it all begins with understanding something Louise Hay spent her entire life teaching: your vibration is not fixed. It can change, and it can change faster than you think. Welcome. If you are watching this video, something in you is already reaching for something better: a lighter feeling, a fuller life, a sense that the world can meet you with more kindness than it has so far. That reaching is not random. It is, as Louise Hay would say, the universe responding to an intention already alive inside you. Louise Hay was one of the most transformative voices of the 20th century. A woman who survived profound childhood trauma, illness, and years of self-rejection. She went on to heal herself, and then to teach millions of others how to do the same. Her foundational belief was simple and radical at once: the thoughts we think and the words we speak are constantly shaping the experience we call our life. Change the inner conversation, and the outer world begins to shift. But Louise was never abstract about this. She was a deeply practical teacher. She knew that people don't change by hearing beautiful ideas, they change by doing specific things, consistently, with intention. That is why she returned again and again to exercises. Small, daily, repeatable practices that rewire the nervous system, reset the emotional baseline, and begin the slow, powerful work of raising what she called your vibration, the energetic frequency at which you are broadcasting yourself into the world. In this video, we are going to walk through the 5-minute exercise that sits at the heart of Louise Hay's method. It draws from mirror work, affirmation practice, breath awareness, body gratitude, and conscious release, 5 elements she identified as the pillars of genuine inner transformation. We have organized this teaching into 7 chapters, each one building on the last, so that by the time you reach the end, you won't just understand this exercise, you will feel it working in you already. There is nothing here that requires special talent, previous experience, or perfect conditions. You do not need to believe it will work before you begin. All you need is 5 minutes and a willingness to show up for yourself in a way that, perhaps, no one has fully shown you how to do before. Louise always said, "You are always in the perfect place at the perfect time." Trust that this moment, right now, wherever you are, is exactly that. Let's begin. Before you can change your vibration, you need to understand what vibration actually is, not as a spiritual buzzword, but as a lived, physical experience you have been having your entire life without knowing what to call it. Vibration, in Louise Hay's framework, refers to the overall energetic tone of your inner world, the combined frequency of your habitual thoughts, your emotional patterns, your body's tensions, and the stories you keep telling yourself about who you are and what you deserve. You have felt low vibration. It is the flatness of a Monday when everything feels pointless. It is the tight chest you carry into a room full of people who don't see you. It is the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You have also felt high vibration, perhaps without naming it. It is the unexpected lightness of a perfect afternoon. The feeling after a genuine laugh. The quiet aliveness that follows a moment of real gratitude. The difference between those two states is not luck. It is not the external circumstances of your life. It is the frequency at which your inner world is operating, and that frequency is something you can influence, deliberately and consistently. Louise Hay taught that every cell in the body responds to the thoughts passing through the mind. When you think thoughts of fear, lack, or self-criticism repeatedly, the body learns to live in a contracted, defensive state. That contraction is low vibration made physical. The reverse is equally true. When you introduce thoughts of love, possibility, and self-acceptance into the inner environment, not as performance but as genuine practice, the body begins to open. That opening is high vibration becoming embodied. This is not metaphor. Research in psychoneuroimmunology, the study of the relationship between thoughts, the nervous system, and the immune system, has repeatedly demonstrated that sustained emotional states produce measurable biochemical changes in the body. Louise knew this intuitively long before the science caught up. She knew it because she had lived it, because she had healed her own body through the disciplined practice of shifting her inner world. The 5-minute exercise you are about to learn is a direct application of this understanding. It is not magic. It is not wishful thinking. It is a precise, intentional method for interrupting low vibration patterns and introducing something genuinely higher, one morning at a time. Of all the practices Louise Hay developed and taught over her lifetime, mirror work was the one she returned to most consistently, the one she called the most direct path to self-acceptance and therefore to genuine transformation. Mirror work is exactly what it sounds like. You stand or sit in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak to yourself, with intention, with kindness, and with the specific language that rewires the subconscious mind. Most people find this deeply uncomfortable the first time. That discomfort is important information. It reveals how rarely we actually see ourselves, how quickly we look away, how reflexively critical the inner voice becomes the moment it has nowhere to hide. Louise would say that the resistance you feel toward the mirror is the exact place where your healing needs to happen. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you your relationship with yourself more honestly than any conversation or therapy session can. That I and the 5-minute exercise, mirror work is the first element, the opening gesture of the practice. You give it 60 seconds. You look into your own eyes, not at your hair, not at your skin, not at your flaws, into your eyes, and you say your own name, just your name. Slowly. With as much warmth as you can access. This single act, looking at yourself and saying your name as if you matter, begins to disrupt the pattern of self-abandonment that low vibration is built upon. From there, you add a single sentence: I love you. I really, truly love you. It may feel false the first time. Say it anyway. Louise always said that the subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is currently true and what is being consistently introduced as truth. The mirror becomes a mirror of possibility rather than a mirror of criticism. Every time you return to it with kindness, you are retraining a nervous system that has learned to brace itself at the sight of its own face. Over days and weeks of this practice, something shifts. The eyes looking back at you begin to feel familiar in a new way, not as a subject of judgment but as a presence you are genuinely beginning to know and care for. This is the foundation of everything else in Louise Hay's work. You cannot sustain a high vibration while secretly being at war with yourself. The mirror work ends that war, gently, repeatedly, one 30-second encounter at a time. The word affirmation has been so widely used that it has, for many people, lost its power. It has become associated with forced positivity, with pasting optimistic phrases over genuine pain and calling that healing. That is not what Louise Hay meant. and it is not what this practice involves. A true affirmation, in Louise's understanding, is a statement of possibility spoken in the present tense with the intention of making it real, not by pretending the past didn't happen, but by consciously choosing where to place your attention from this moment forward. The brain is extraordinarily responsive to language. The words you use habitually, especially in the first and second person, become neural pathways. Repeat them enough and they become automatic. Repeat them long enough and they become your reality, because they shape what you notice, what you pursue, and what you believe is possible for you. In the 5-minute exercise, affirmations occupy the second minute. 3 specific statements, spoken aloud, in front of the mirror if possible. Louise recommended keeping them grounded, not grandiose, especially in the beginning. Simple affirmations carry more power than elaborate ones. I am safe. Life supports me. I am worthy of good things. These statements work because they address the core wounds that most people carry: fear, abandonment, and unworthiness. As you speak them, notice what happens in your body. Is there tightening? Skepticism? A quiet voice that says, "But that's not true"? That resistance is not a sign the practice isn't working, it is a sign it is working precisely where it needs to. Louise taught that you should respond to that inner resistance not with force but with curiosity. Ask, what belief would have to be true for this affirmation to feel impossible? Then recognize that belief is not a fact, it is a pattern you inherited, absorbed, and have been repeating without realizing it. Each time you speak an affirmation past its resistance, you are creating a new possibility inside the nervous system. Not overwriting your history, but adding a new frequency to the signal you are broadcasting. The key is consistency over intensity. 5 minutes every day for 30 days produces far more lasting change than an hour-long session done once. The subconscious mind responds to repetition, not to effort. Choose your 3 affirmations tonight. Write them down. Place them somewhere visible. Bring them to the mirror tomorrow morning, and every morning after that. This is how a new vibration is built, one spoken truth at a time. Of all the elements in this 5-minute practice, the one most people underestimate is breath. Not breathing techniques, not complex pranayama, simply the conscious act of returning to the breath with awareness and intention. Louise Hay consistently emphasized the body as a partner in healing, not an afterthought. She knew that no amount of mental reprogramming would hold if the body remained locked in its habitual stress responses, and the fastest, most direct way to interrupt those responses is through the breath. In the 5-minute exercise, breath work occupies the 3rd minute. It consists of a single, repeatable pattern. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Do this 4 times, slowly, with your eyes closed and your hands resting open on your lap. This specific ratio, longer exhale than inhale, is not arbitrary. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest, repair, and receptivity. In practical terms, it tells your body that you are safe. And a body that feels safe can receive new information. Most of us spend the majority of our waking hours in a mild but chronic state of physiological alertness. We are not in crisis, but we are braced. This low-level tension is one of the primary reasons affirmations and positive thoughts fail to take root. They are being introduced into a system that is too defended to absorb them. The breath practice in this exercise creates a window of receptivity, a 60-second opening in which the nervous system softens just enough for the new information to land somewhere deeper than the surface. Louise often said that the present moment is the only place where real change can happen. Not in the past, which is fixed. Not in the future, which is imagined. Only here, now, in this breath, in this body, in this moment of deliberate return. When you breathe consciously, you are practicing presence. And presence is the frequency on which high vibration operates. Anxiety lives in the future. Grief lives in the past. Aliveness, the quality Louise associated with genuine healing, lives in the now. After the 4 breath cycles, sit for a moment in the quiet that follows. Notice how your body feels different from 60 seconds ago. That difference is real. That is what a slightly higher vibration feels like. not fireworks, just a softening, a small but genuine opening. This is the middle of the 5-minute exercise, and it is the hinge upon which everything else turns. The mirror work opens you, the affirmations introduce new language, the breath makes the body ready to receive what has been said. Without this step, the practice is words on top of tension. With it, it becomes genuine transformation. Gratitude is not a feeling you wait for. It is a practice you choose. This is one of the most important distinctions in all of Louise Hay's teaching, and it is the one most commonly misunderstood by people new to this work, that we tend to think of gratitude as a response, something that arises naturally when good things happen. And it does. But the practice of deliberate gratitude is something different. It is the intentional act of finding evidence of goodness before the feeling arrives on its own. The neurological effect of this is well documented. When you direct your attention toward what is present and good, even small, ordinary things, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. Your baseline emotional tone shifts. Your reticular activating system, which filters what you notice in the world, begins tuning itself to look for more of what you have been deliberately appreciating. That I and the 5-minute exercise, the 4th minute, belongs to gratitude. You speak, or silently acknowledge, 5 things you are grateful for right now, in this body, in this moment. Not things you hope for. Not things you once had. Things that are present and real, however small, the warmth of the light in the room. The fact of your own heartbeat. The cup of water on the table. The people who love you even imperfectly. The way you kept going on the days when stopping would have been so much easier. Louise Hay always included the body in gratitude practice. She would say, thank your lungs for breathing all night while you slept. Thank your heart for beating without being asked. This kind of gratitude dissolves the low-grade antagonism that many of us carry toward our own bodies, an antagonism that is one of the heaviest weights on our vibration. Gratitude for the body is particularly powerful because it breaks the pattern of treating the physical self as a problem to be solved rather than a partner to be appreciated. When the body feels appreciated, it begins to relax. When it relaxes, it heals more efficiently. When it heals, you feel more grateful. The loop becomes an upward spiral. You don't need extraordinary things to be grateful for. In fact, Louise often said that the most powerful gratitude is for the ordinary, because it trains the mind to find abundance in the present rather than projecting it endlessly into a future that never quite arrives. By the time you have named 5 things you genuinely appreciate, your vibration has already shifted. You can feel it. The body is softer. The mind is quieter. The world, without changing a single external fact, looks slightly more workable than it did 5 minutes ago. This is the alchemy Louise Hay spoke of, not turning lead into gold, but turning ordinary moments into evidence of a life that is already, in so many ways, worth living. Gratitude is the practice that makes that alchemy available to everyone, every morning, for free. Every morning, you carry forward some weight from the day before. Unfinished conversations. Resentments that haven't quite resolved. Worries that looped through your sleep. The 5th element of this exercise is the one that consciously puts that weight down, and it may be the most underused tool in the entire practice of vibrational healing. Release, in Louise Hay's teaching, is not the same as suppression or denial. You are not pretending the difficult things didn't happen. You are making a conscious decision that they will not be the dominant frequency you carry into the next hour, the next day, the next chapter of your life. There is a profound difference between holding something and carrying it. You can acknowledge pain, fully, honestly, and still choose not to let it define the signal you are broadcasting to the world. That choice is what release means. And it is exactly that, a choice, not a feeling that arrives on its own. And at I end the 5th minute of this exercise, you close your eyes and bring to mind one thing you are ready to release today. It might be a worry about the future. It might be a resentment towards someone who hurt you. It might be the old story that says you are too broken or too late or too much of something and not enough of something else. You hold it gently in your awareness, not bracing against it, not analyzing it, just acknowledging that it has been with you, and then, with a slow exhale, you let it go. Louise recommended saying, either silently or aloud, I release you. You no longer serve me. I am free and you are free. The power of that specific language is in its generosity. You are not destroying what you release, you are setting it free. This matters because resentment and fear held tightly become part of your identity. Released gently, they can leave without taking a piece of you with them. Many people find that the same thing comes back to be released again the next morning. This is not failure. This is the nature of deep healing. It happens in layers, not in single dramatic moments. Each time you release something, you loosen its grip a little more, even if the feeling returns. Over time, the practice of daily release creates enormous lightness. You stop accumulating. You stop carrying the weight of every difficult thing that has ever happened as though it is still happening right now. You begin to move through life more fluidly, more responsively, more freely. Louise Hay's own life was testimony to this. She released a childhood of abuse. She released the internalized shame that had, she believed, contributed to her own cancer diagnosis. She did it not in one cathartic moment but in a daily, patient, committed practice of choosing differently, one morning at a time. You are not being asked to forgive everything today. You are being asked to release one thing. One weight. One grip. That is enough. That is everything. That is where the highest vibration lives, not in perfection, but in the willingness to keep putting down what no longer belongs to you. You now have all 5 elements of the exercise: mirror work, affirmations, breath, gratitude, and release. Each one takes approximately 60 seconds. Together, they take 5 minutes. What you do with those 5 minutes, and how consistently you show up for them, will determine everything. Louise Hay never promised that this practice would make life perfect. She promised something far more useful, that it would change your relationship to your life. That it would make you a more conscious participant in the story you are living, and therefore a more capable author of the story you want to live next. The most important word in any practice is consistency. Not perfection. Not intensity. Not doing it right every time. Consistency, the willingness to return, even on the days you forget, even on the days you feel too tired, even on the mornings when you look in the mirror and feel nothing but resistance. Louise always said that the days you least want to do this work are the days it is most needed. The resistance you feel is not a sign to stop, it is a sign that the practice is touching exactly the place where change needs to happen. Integrate this into your life, attach it to something that already happens every morning. Right after you wake up, before you look at your phone. Right after you brush your teeth. Right before your first cup of coffee. Pair it with an existing habit and it will become one far more quickly than if you try to build it from nothing. Keep a simple journal alongside the practice, not pages and pages, just a few lines each morning. What did you release today? What were your 5 gratitudes? How did the mirror feel? This small record creates a trail of evidence that you can look back on, and that evidence becomes one of the most powerful motivators to continue. In the first week, you may notice very little. In the second week, you may begin to notice subtle things, a slightly quicker return to calm after something upsets you, a moment of unexpected joy that surprises you with its clarity. In the third and fourth weeks, people around you will begin to notice before you fully do. This is how vibration works. It shifts from the inside out, and it is felt by others before it is fully visible to you. The people in your life will sense something different without being able to name it. You will feel it in the way the same circumstances begin to look slightly more navigable, slightly more full of possibility. Louise Hay lived to 90 years old. She spent the last decades of her life teaching this and other practices to millions of people around the world, not because she believed life was easy, but because she knew, from her own experience, that it could be lived with far more joy and far less suffering than most people believe is available to them. This 5-minute exercise is an inheritance she left for you. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to be ready enough or healed enough or certain enough. You just have to begin. Tomorrow morning. 5 minutes. Mirror, affirmations, breath, gratitude, release. That is enough. That is everything. Louise Hay once said, "The point of power is always in the present moment. Not in the version of yourself you are working toward. Not in the life you will build once everything finally aligns. Right here. Right now. In the 5 minutes you gave yourself this morning to be a little kinder to your own mind." This practice is not about becoming a different person. It is about returning to who you actually are, before the fear, before the conditioning, before the years of being told in 100 quiet ways that you were not quite enough. The mirror doesn't show you a project to be completed. It shows you a human being who has survived everything they have been through, who is still here, still reaching, still open to something better. That person deserves 5 minutes of deliberate, loving attention every single morning for the rest of their life. Begin tomorrow. Not perfectly, just begin. Stand in front of the mirror before the world asks anything of you, look into your own eyes, and say your name with the warmth you would offer someone you deeply love. Breathe. Affirm. Feel grateful for what is real and present. Release what no longer belongs to you. And then step into your day carrying something you didn't have the day before, the quiet, unshakable knowledge that you showed up for yourself, and that the universe, as Louise Hay always promised, has a remarkable way of showing up for those who first show up for themselves. If this video reached something in you, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to this channel for more teachings in the spirit of Louise Hay. And leave a comment below telling us, what is the one thing you are ready to release tomorrow morning? We'll see you in the next video. With love.